Blessings and welcome to my channel. My name is Cassandra and you're watching Spotless Mind Tarot. Today I have a pick a group tarot reading for you guys, and this will be all about what you're not seeing in your situation. So even if you don't have anything really going on right now, you could still watch this video, because the other side of this video is that we will be revealing secrets as well as seeing into the unknown. And for this reading, I've decided to represent each group with the High Priestess. The High Priestess is an archetype who helps you to unlock the hidden and subconscious realm within your psyche. And she is here to guide you to find the answers through your own intuition, which is something that all of us have and possess. And so by unlocking these hidden and subconscious parts of ourselves, we're able to see deeper into what is really happening behind the scenes, what the universe is really orchestrating within your life. And on a earthly based level, we're just going to get a look into whatever it is in your life that you aren't paying attention to and that you are unaware of. It could be a situation that you're overlooking or something that just needs to be brought to your attention. If you haven't yet already, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of this reading and if it resonates for you. So for our choices here, we have group 1 with the Albano-Waite tarot deck, group 2 with Tarot of the Golden Wheel, group 3 with the Cosmic Tarot, and group 4 with the Easy Tarot. Hello group 1, I went ahead and shuffled already, and your very first card we got is the Ace of Cups. And so with that, I feel there's something that you're overlooking when it comes to emotional support or emotional stability. I also feel like there's a certain abundance that you have in your life that you're not recognizing. Maybe you're not being very grateful or even humble about it. I would say you have an overwhelming support, or like there's this overwhelming sense of support from people very close to you. I'm getting like 3 people maybe. Of course, there could be more, there could be less, it all depends, but there's at least 3 really important people in your life, and they may not even have to know each other, but for some reason, they're coming together for you in some way. So they're offering a lot of support, and you're not really recognizing it, or maybe you're rejecting it even in some way. So I feel like it's just something that you're overlooking. Something that, it could be something that's really new for you. So maybe you've never experienced this kind of support from other people before. And so you don't know how to deal with it. You don't know what to make of it. So there's definitely a foreign element to this, something that is just really unfamiliar to you. Again, I really feel it is something that maybe you haven't experienced before. The next card is the Hanged Man. So yeah, you're definitely just not seeing things very clearly right now. You could even be in a period of isolation, and so that's why you're not recognizing what's happening. And I want to go back to what I said about something about you having an overwhelming abundance of that you're not recognizing. So Cups typically has to deal with emotions and creativity, relationships, especially romantic relationships. And we have the Hangman, which is ruled by Neptune. And so there's a lot of this watery element going on. So you could be seeing things through rose-colored glasses right now. So there's a lot of things that just are really fuzzy to you. For some of you, I feel like you're under the influence, like you are drinking alcohol every day or taking a substance every day. And I think it's a way for you to numb yourself out or to feel a sense of euphoria. And so when you're in that state, when you are under some kind of substance, it is hard to recognize certain parts of reality. If that's not the case, it could just be that you're in you're spending a lot of time in seclusion, a lot of isolation, or you have right now a very strong and dedicated meditation practice to where you're meditating every day, and that could give you that sense of euphoria as well, and it can take you out of reality a little bit. So, it's that saying that too much is a good thing. Too much meditation could could have a negative impact in your life in some way. And in this case, I feel like the negative impact of that would be, again, like being really cut off from reality. And so the hangman is asking for you to kind of like wake up, kind of like get out of that position, stop hanging upside down, stop sitting in a meditative pose, stop taking substances so often, whatever it may be. It could be other things, like maybe food is a problem or sleep is a problem. You're not getting enough sleep, and so you're a bit distorted. Your energy levels are really low. Okay, you could have body aches and pain and all that. And so whatever it may be for you, it's something that is impacting you. And I do feel like regardless of what it is, I think you're trying to, like, there's been positive outcomes with whatever it is you're doing, but I feel like you've been in this place for too long. Or even if it hasn't been that long, I think right now with what's going on in your life as you're watching this video, you need your full attention. And I do feel, because with the cups, it is all about feeling. I know in my readings I say I feel because that's how I get around my tarot readings, and when I'm making these channelings or these predictions or whatever you want to call it, I feel it. And so that's why sometimes it's hard for me to articulate or put into words what it is I'm picking up in a reading. And with this reading, I would say it's not so hard because it is all about feeling. And so that is the major thing right now that you're overlooking, regardless of what I'm saying. It is your feelings, it is your emotions. And there's something you're not addressing with that. You're, again, everything I've said, to where you're doing too much of something that's taking you out of this reality. So what can you do about it? We have the Tower. And so basically it is about letting go. It is about I'm hearing a threshold, letting yourself cross that threshold, letting yourself let go, but in the opposite direction that you're letting go in. I'm getting like imagery of getting on a roller coaster, like daring yourself to get on the roller coaster and just going for it, like just having fun with it. So it's interesting that we have the Tower, and I'm getting this sense of fun. And so that's something that I think needs to happen. I guess it's like the whole like trend of people saying, crash out season, crash out era. And for some people, it is like comedic, it is like playful and not like actually that serious. And then for others, it can be that serious. So yeah, it's more of the comedic side of that. It's more like the meme side of crash out. The universe wants you to let go and be more playful, to tap into these feelings, these emotions that you're either trying to achieve or you're trying to run away from, and use it through a creative outlet. Finding an alternative to whatever it is that you've been doing up until now. Basically, revitalizing yourself, giving yourself a fresh start, even like a brand new battery being put into your system. The next card is the Page of Pentacles. So this is about building a new foundation in your life and it's funny that I chuckled because that's exactly what I was saying before I pulled the Page of Pentacles, is to find a new alternative, to find something else, a new battery. And the Page of Pentacles is a brand new start. Especially with Pentacle energy, this is a brand new start at life. So maybe it is about going to rehab. Maybe it is about seeking therapy or finding some other therapeutic outlet. And again, for those of you who are meditating, it is about pulling yourself out of that reality. I guess you could say like the metaphysical, the spiritual reality. And finally just getting more grounded. And I would say more grounded than you really are. Grounded here in the material reality instead of grounded in a spiritual reality. With the Page of Pentacles, you have an opportunity to build something that is going to be very long lasting. And so whatever habit, whatever you begin at this time, like a fitness routine, like whatever you begin that you plan for yourself and that you're serious about and that you like deeply feel within, it's gonna last a really long time. And now I'm getting like this overwhelming sense of like a spark, okay? And that's kind of like what the Tower does. It there's this lightning flash, there's this sudden jolt of energy that completely disrupts and dismantles your reality, your situation in this case, the situation that you're dealing with. And the Page of Pentacles is like picking up the pieces again, but at the same time it's also creating brand new pieces. The Tower is going to give you a pentacle. It's going to give you an opportunity, and the pentacle is a tool. It's part of the suits, the 4 suits, and you can look at it like it's a seed, or it is the dirt, it is a pot of soil, and whatever you plant in that pot is what will manifest into reality. Whatever thoughts, whatever ideas you give to it will multiply tenfold. And again, I just keep hearing there's such a major opportunity here for you. So for some of you, I feel like this could be physical. This could be you uprooting, moving to new territory, moving to a new country even. Maybe just changing things within the home if you have no plans to move. It would probably be a good idea to rearrange furniture or to change up the decoration in the home, buy new decoration. There's also something here about giving offerings. So for those of you who go to church or you visit a temple or you have an altar, it's a good idea to give offerings to the earth. Give offerings to things of fertility, whether that are concepts or archetypes or deities, if that is something you participate in. If you're religious, it could just be as simple as attending Mass. It doesn't have to be every Sunday, just whenever you're able to. It could even be taking time every day to just be grateful, to list all the things you're grateful for, or even looking in the mirror and doing affirmations, or writing something down that's positive, that like writing your goals down every day, or even making a checklist every day, like 3 things you want to accomplish that day. And they could be anything. They could be something really simple. That would definitely be a good idea, especially at this time when you do want to develop new and healthy habits. So with the Tower, you may experience some destruction, some chaos. At first, it might be really disruptive and really uncomfortable. But I think it's going to greatly transform your life for the better. Additional support that you could benefit from is the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords is kind of like the Hangman, only he's more aware and more conscious of what's happening, whereas the Hangman isn't so conscious. He may be under the influence, or he's just not all the way there. And the Page of Swords is about changing direction when it comes to what you believe, what you think. There could be new information that comes into your life. This could even be additional support from the outside. So there could be a Capricorn, Aquarius, or Pisces that can assist you at this time. This could even be you adopting a new mentality, a new lifestyle, and your perceptions of that. For some of you, this may mean going back to school or going to school. It could even mean you taking up some kind of studies, some kind of course, joining a social group even. There's just a lot more I guess you could say spiritual activity, but there's a lot more social activity. You engaging in social arts or anything like that. I could even see museums, you going to museums. So you're trying to get a new perspective. Either way, okay? You're gaining new insight into something. And this might even come naturally. It might just happen rapidly. Like, you don't necessarily have to go out there and have these experiences, like visiting places or getting with groups of people. You could receive information just automatically because you're a lot more receptive to, I guess you could say, your own intuition, to the universe, especially for those of you who are meditating. And I would even say the advice is to not stop meditating, okay? It's more just coming back to this reality, the physical reality. Seeing things for what they really are instead of what you believe them to be or would like them to be. And so that could also cause a Tower moment in your life because your reality is being shaken up, okay? It's like seeing something for the first time. You know, it's finally taking the blinders off. And so as additional support, the Page of Swords is here to guide you to think in a way that is very new to you, very foreign to you, but at the same time very familiar or easy to adopt, easy to perceive, easy to understand as well. You could even learn a new language at this time. And so there's like a rewiring of the brain happening here. I'm also getting something about colors. Colors are important. And right now on the clock, it's 15:51. So let's see what else we can get, if there's any additional information we can gain from this. And then we'll close out the reading. So to close out the reading, we have the 7 of Wands. And the 7 of Wands, it could be a bit tricky. I feel like in this situation, this battle, this confrontation that the 7 of Wands suggests is confrontation with yourself. It is about coming back down to reality. It is about accepting a certain reality in your life, a certain truth in your life. It is about coming to terms and to an agreement of sorts. Maybe finally admitting, maybe finally forgiving, maybe finally coming out of a box or even out of the closet. Either way, it is just about confronting these issues, these things that for whatever reason you were running away from, or you were suppressing, or you were just simply overlooking, like you just innocently were not aware of. And so the Seven of Wands is suggesting that, like the Tower card, there's these difficulties and these struggles that you're going to have to face, but I do feel that it is very positive. Like throughout this entire reading, I feel a lot of uplifting, positive energy. And so I think that's also why I mentioned something about rehab, even if that's not something that you need to do personally. You could be going through some kind of spiritual rehab or physical rehab, or just something in your life to where you're starting off clean again. So it's metaphorical, doesn't have to be literal. The Seven of Wands, it's very confrontational. You might even have to face confrontation with other people, especially if you are involved with other people, like if anything in this reading, or just anything at all where another person is involved, you might have to confront them. It could even just be you opening up for the first time. And maybe it's something you've never done before, never experienced before. Something that's completely new and unfamiliar. And I'm getting a slight ringing in my ears. I do have a singing bowl in the background, so that could be causing it, but if you're into like the whole ear ringing thing, that could just be confirmation for something, or it's tinnitus, I don't know. Either way, it's happening. I feel like I need to get one more card because I feel like there is like one more thing to say. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so for the one more thing to say, we have the Moon card. And so the Moon card can be a card about deception, lies and deceit, or delusions and things like that. I feel like because of everything I've set up into this point and everything that you're going through, I feel like this confrontation is with yourself or with another person that has to deal with the Moon card energy, that has to deal with a reality that doesn't necessarily have to be a false reality, because there is a spiritual reality, and it doesn't mean that it's not real, even if no one else experiences it with you. Regardless of what it is, I feel like you're having to, again, break out of that, okay? Or maybe even accept that other people can't experience what you are experiencing or what you've experienced throughout your life or on your spiritual path. And that's okay. And you can share it with like-minded individuals, and you could probably relate with other people who have similar or the same experiences. But ultimately, those experiences are for you. They're not always meant to be shared, but yeah, sometimes I think it's totally fine. Me personally, I've never shared my experiences up until recently, the past few years. And for so long, I was terrified of it. I thought I'd get in trouble for it. And somehow I broke out of that. I broke through that barrier. I had a Tower card moment. I had that Seven of Wands experience where I had to confront myself and ask myself, why am I so afraid? And I may not know the exact answer to that, but I managed to get out of that. I'm not as afraid anymore. There's still a lot of things I'm not going to say and reveal, but at the same time, I'm not afraid to tell other people that, yeah, I've had experiences. You don't have to believe me. And I understand that my experiences aren't your experiences, but I definitely had them. And they were great. or they weren't so great, because some of them were definitely not so great. You know, some of us have had very dark moments, but it's a part of reality. And there's a way to integrate that into this reality. You know, being psychic, being intuitive, being tapped into yourself, even just having that relationship with yourself is something to cherish, is something to not take for granted, to appreciate it. And maybe that is the Ace of Cups. Maybe that is the abundance in your life. I kind of lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. But the Ace of Cups could also signify that you have such a very vividly, like a very vivid spiritual life, a very vivid spiritual reality. Yeah, I'm not sure what I was trying to get at, so I apologize, but for the most part, I think the message got out. I think you know exactly what I'm trying to convey here. So that is your reading, Group 1, and thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, for allowing me to tap into your psyche and open these things up for you and uplift you out of these times that you may be struggling with. And if you're not struggling at this time, then I still hope that this was uplifting and informative and can help you see what it is that you're not able to see. So thank you for watching. And if you would like a private tarot reading with me, I do offer private tarot readings. You may book a private tarot reading with me through my Etsy shop. That is the only place you could get a reading from me. And they are audio recorded readings, so they're not exactly one-on-one or over camera or anything like that. I like to perform them privately and then send them to you. So thank you once again for watching and participating. I will catch you in the next video. Blessings, Group 2, and welcome to your reading. So what are you not seeing about your situation or just anything in general? And the card we got for you is the 10 of Wheels. So the 10 of Wheels speaks of family. It speaks of legacies. It could even speak of marriage. It really relates to the abundance that you have surrounding the home and surrounding your legacy, or within the family name, within the family dynamic of things. So there's something here that you're unable to see. There seems to be help within the family that you're not realizing is there. There's some kind of support that you're being offered or given, and you're not recognizing it. I feel like there can be money or property or something of value that is owed to you, or let's just say maybe there's money that's available for you that's just sitting in limbo because for whatever reason, you know, it's in the system and it's unable to make its way to you. So that could deal with an inheritance of some sort. Maybe even something about medical bills. Let's just say there's a lawsuit or something to where you could file to receive some compensation, okay? Or even like a data breach. You know, data breaches happen all the time, and then companies will offer money for potential damages that it may have caused to your information that was hijacked, right? So there could be something like that that is just out there. It's in limbo. It's not really, yeah, and it's something that you don't even know, obviously, because, I mean, I can't even see what it could be, because it could be many different things, first of all. But it is one of those things where you have to look for it. You have to actively seek it. So now, if it's none of the things that I've mentioned so far with family or with some kind of inheritance or money owed to you, either way, there is something that's there that once you start looking for it, it's gonna start looking for you. It's just going to start appearing. I don't think you're meant to really know how to start looking for that. I think it's somewhat of a test for some reason, okay? So there could be karmic implications with this. but it's something that you have to just consciously make that effort. And it's whatever comes to you, okay? Whatever your intuitive thought is on where to start looking is exactly what you need to do. It's the direction you need to go in. Because especially these readings are about the energy of the High Priestess and something, an archetype or an energy for you to tap into in order to open up yourself more to your subconscious mind, i.e. the universe, and be able to receive the messages you are meant to hear. And so that's what this 10 of Wheels is suggesting, is that you just begin that process. And you can even just make an oath. You could just say right now that you are going to seek what is seeking you, and it'll begin to appear in your life. So let's go ahead and pull another card. So the next card we have is the 3 of Cups. So once again, there's definitely a support system that you have that you're not really paying attention to or you're unaware about. So it could be very close relatives, I feel, if it is family, or a really close friend. I guess whoever you consider really close to you. So it could even be a mix of people coming together here. And that's what the 3 of Cups is all about. It's about coming together. It is about celebrating. All the cards relating to the number 3 tend to have that unity of community, or a unity of a collective even, or just quite literally 3 people, 3 forces. Okay, it's the Trinity. And through this act, you're able to achieve things that are so much greater. It's okay, so it's something like, it's something monumental. Okay, it's not just an ordinary unity of energies, okay, or of people. So it could be something very grand in the way that I'm trying to describe it, or it could just be as simply as just, okay, look at like the 3 Musketeers, like it's just a really powerful dynamic. So this could mean a lot of things. This could mean help that is waiting for you, but on the other side, it could also mean that there could be a project or a situation where this energy is very, like, your participation in this is very, very important. So there could be something here of that nature, some kind of project, some kind of group project, whether it's a business project, or even if it's something that you're not seeing as a project, it is a project in the sense that you guys need to come together to create something, to accomplish a common goal together, and there's no other way of going about it. Okay, so it's almost as if there's no way this can be completed without each other. Okay, so I feel that it has, like, I even mentioned something earlier about a karmic action. This could just be something it is important and it is meaningful. Okay, so I think that's pretty powerful. I think there's something really powerful here waiting for you. Okay, so once again, it doesn't have to be like a business thing. It could just be a family thing. It could just be whatever it is. It's going to create a lot of growth and transformation within everyone involved. And then just together, it's like, I just keep getting that it's just really powerful. It's really meaningful. It's going to have a very long-lasting impact. So let's go ahead and pull another card. So I asked the cards, what can be your approach to all of this? What is your role to play in this? And we got the Page of Wheels. And so the Page of Wheels is basically, you're like the mason. Okay, I'm thinking of like another word. So I'm thinking of a smith, and I'm trying to think like there's like a smith with another word attached to it, I think is what I'm trying to think of, but I can't. And so I looked up the role of a smith, and it is a status within the Viking Age. It is a title, and it is archaeological. Yes, and it has to do with iron workers, so the art of a smith. So that's essentially how I'm seeing it. It's like you're the one that's gonna actually physically lay the groundwork, okay? It's like a blueprint. You're the one that's gonna draft up the blueprint. You're the one that's gonna set the goal. So basically, your role is to be the one that keeps everything organized, keep everything like a data collector, okay? So I am getting like Capricorn energy with this. This is also a Virgo thing. I guess you could even say Taurus, because we are dealing with Earth energy here. But I am getting more of a role of like Capricorn, where Capricorns are known to have spreadsheets and to make lists and, you know, like categorize things. Like they love to do that. And so your role is to, even if it's not like literally you do these things, this is essentially what the energy you need to bring to the situation, okay? So for some of you, it is about using your skill in whatever way you need to, whatever your skills are. So let's say you're not an iron worker, which isn't pretty cool if you are and you're watching this, but it's just whatever you're very skilled at. So even if you're not very good at organizing, maybe there's something else that you're really good at. But it is a physical thing. It is a thing where you know, you have to do a physical act of it. So like the Capricorn analogy of a spreadsheet, you have to physically make a spreadsheet. So that's what I mean. Like you have to take some kind of physical action when it comes to how you can approach the situation. So I guess there could be some word of advice here when it comes to the direction of like how to go about seeking what is seeking you, and that could be the direction you can go in. You could just start putting your skills to work. Again, whatever those skills are, just start doing it. Even if you could just do it like just as a hobby, okay? I don't know, if like you're a character designer, just start creating characters, just start going with a flow, just kind of come up with ideas, and that will open up new doors for you, okay? And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Wands, which, very cool looking card. There's a rooster. So with the Ace of Wands, that is about creativity. It is about a very strong dynamic force is what I'm getting. There's a unity here once again. I feel like it's a more of a you and a spirit unity, okay, or something of that nature. It's more about your connection with the divine, your connection to even like your inner child, your self-expression, okay? Whatever gives you that drive and that passion, because wands are all about drive and passion. And it is about taking those first steps and moving forward through with it. Okay, without that passion, there's no drive. And without that drive, you're not going anywhere. Okay, you're staying put. So unfortunately, the battery on my camera is dying, so I'm going to have to take a break here for a while and then return back to your reading. Okay, I am back, so let's go ahead and shuffle some more. Let's see what additional information needs to be added to this reading. So to add to the reading, what additional information that the cards have for you, and we have the Devil. Okay, so I think this has a lot to do with you getting out of your own way. I think there's something about all of this that you feel like it's wrong, or, you know, it's not, there's something that isn't right or correct about this. But I feel like either way, the message here is to just get out of your own way. It is to perhaps break a habit that is preventing you from seeing this or from accepting this in the first place. Maybe there's something you were taught growing up. So maybe there's something here about your inner voice. You know, they say our inner voice is the voice of our parents. Essentially, your inner father and your inner mother. The things you tell yourself that perhaps your parents had said to you in some way. So I think a lot of it is your inner dialogue. What are you saying to yourself? Maybe you had a parent, and even if it's not a parent, maybe it's just another family member who told you something couldn't be done. Or maybe there's something about rumors being spread or false things said about other people. And so maybe that's preventing you from working with them. So it's a variety of things that are coming out right now. So those messages could all just be like separate from each other. So it depends on what it is that's going on in your life, because different people are watching this. With the Devil card, it's interesting that it's followed by the Page or the Ace of Wands, and there's this fire energy here on the Devil card. There's this, it's like your inner spirit, it's your deep desires, the things that not only motivate you and not only inspire you, but it really lights something within you. It lights a fire within you. And it could be like a very big flame, or it could just be the subtle like warmth that you feel. Not exactly butterflies, because butterflies, at least in my opinion and in my experience, when we get butterflies in their stomach, I don't think that's a good thing. I think that is a warning. And, they say it's usually something you say you get when you see somebody, right? But it's more than just seeing somebody. Like, you have an attraction to them, but they're giving you butterflies. To me, it's a warning, at least in my experience. They never turn out to be good. Or if it didn't turn out to be good, it didn't turn out the way I had hoped for. At least when it comes to relationships. And so that's something to pay attention to. Pay attention to the way your body feels with people, with a situation, with an idea. So it's more or less in this situation, I'm looking for the positive feelings, that fire I've mentioned. A fire in your belly or in your solar plexus, I would even say. Your solar plexus is where you get your confidence. It is your will and your creativity. It is inspiration and motivation, among many other things. And so listen to that. Tap into your diaphragm. Tap into when you breathe in into your body and fill your belly. What is it what does that bring up? Maybe that's a practice you could do, a breathing practice. Breathing into your belly and breathing out. A lot of times when we breathe in, we breathe in, but we are contracting. We're supposed to breathe in and expand and then contract when we breathe out. And so maybe sit with yourself and do a breathing practice or a breathing meditation, especially if you have one already. And just allow whatever it is that comes up, any thoughts, any ideas, even if they are seemingly nothing, or just simple things, like maybe you're just thinking about what you want to eat for dinner or something, right? Like maybe that comes up, but maybe that could lead you somewhere. Maybe the thought of what am I going to eat for dinner, and then you decide to go out to a restaurant and maybe you meet somebody or you encounter something and there's some inspiration there. Okay, so it could be something like that. So let's go ahead and see what else we can get. I think I'm going to close out this reading. The messages have been really clear, and I get a lot of excitement with you guys. Group 1, was really nice too. I felt a lot of calmness and peace with them. With you guys, I feel a lot of excitement. And so I think that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and see what else we can get, and we will close out this reading. So moving forward, I decided to pull 2 cards, and the first card we got is Strength. And then the second card we got is the World. So with Strength, I think it has a lot to do with you just being more self-expressive. So maybe there's some self-esteem issues you need to work on, or maybe just breaking through that barrier of being afraid to be seen and to be heard, and just going for it and just putting yourself out there. And I love this Strength card because it's very wholesome. It's a woman sitting with a bear. Traditionally, it's a woman that's somewhat wrestling with a lion. And so in this case, it's more, you could go out and do things in a more reserved manner. It doesn't have to be so loud and flamboyant and in your face like Leo energy typically is. It could just be like, it could be eccentric without being loud about it. You know, and there's that saying that insecurity is loud and confidence is silent. It is just something that you have. It's not something you show off per se. And so look at it like that. Like, there's no need to show off, but there's also no need to hide either. Okay? And then with the World card, this really speaks about a completion within your life, within a cycle you may be experiencing. So if you are going through a cycle, if that is something that you're recognizing, or if it's not so much like a cycle, just a phase in your life, then the World card is here to signify that that's completing right now. It's coming to an end. And after it ends, you know, a new beginning will emerge. And so, again, we have the symbolism of 3 women coming together. So that could also signify the triple goddess, or even Hecate, or anything that comes into 3 form. I would say more notably a goddess energy or female energy. So there's alchemy. Again, it's that trinity. So it doesn't have to be the goddess. It could be, the Christian trinity. Either way, there's something here. There's a lot of unity here. There's a need for unity, and there's a need for you to see that it is available, that it's possible. And with the World, I feel like that also confirms the seek and ye shall receive energy. Okay, the World mirrors back the reality you believe in, the reality you strive for and work for. Okay, so, and I on the other side, I also feel like a certain reality is being revealed to you in some kind of context. It could just be you becoming more aware or self-aware of certain things. Okay, and so it gives you this grounding and this groundedness. Okay, you're able to have, it's like objective reality. Okay, you're able to make, there's discernment here. And so that seems to be something important, which is why I'm bringing it up. It seems kind of random, but something that I'm getting. So I feel like that is all that needs to be said about your situation. I think it's made clear to you now, and so we're just going to go ahead and close it here. And so I thank you once again for watching this reading, especially if you've made it here to the end. I really, really appreciate you and your company and your presence. If you're interested in booking a private tarot reading with me, I offer tarot readings on my Etsy shop. This is the only place where you can book a tarot reading with me. I have 4 readings available. Every now and then I do host sales, so if you're interested, you could look out for those sales. And be sure to check me out on Instagram as well as Twitter. There's links for that below in the description. And please do like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't yet already. I really appreciate any and all support that you offer to me. So take care, and I wish you all the best. Blessings group 3, and welcome to your reading. So we're going to look at what you're not seeing about your situation, or just about what is going on in life in general. This will also review anything that is being kept secret from you or hidden from you as well. As mentioned in the intro, we are dealing with the High Priestess energy, and so keep that in mind throughout this reading. This is meant for you to open up your subconscious mind and to unlock the secrets and messages that the universe has to offer you. So the first card we got for you guys are the Ace of Pentacles. Now with the Ace of Pentacles, I think what you're not seeing is your ability to expand and to grow upon what you have already. I feel like for some of you, there's this lack mentality, or maybe you really are limited, okay, in your resources. Maybe there are things that are preventing you from pushing forward, from moving forward, or I guess just from really doing what it is that you've set out to do. So I feel this relates to something that you have been in the process of achieving, or something that's been going on, maybe even underneath the surface for some years now. Okay, so there could be an element to it where you're not, it's kind of like divine guidance, like you're just following along, you know, the path that's been laid out before you. At the same time, there is something here that you've actively have been pursuing, or at least would like to pursue. So it could be something you've just been pursuing within your mind, okay, if it's not something you've taken action on. And so part of this is there's a need for you to take action. There's a need for you to even accept what it is you don't have, or accept any losses you've may experienced. I feel like with the Ace of Pentacles, there's some kind of loss here. And then like the imagery on this card, it has like rocks and stuff like that, and it looks like the star is like emerging from the ground, and all this ground broke away for it to emerge. And so there's a need for you to really break free from something. So for some of you, maybe you live with your parents, and so there's restrictions that are imposed onto you because it's your parents, and you know, you live in their house, it's their house, their rules. So there could be an element of that. There could even just be issues with an authority figure of some kind if it's not your parents. So there's like a Saturn or Saturnian issue here as well. So you want to pay attention to that in your own birth chart and find a way to work with that. Maybe even get with an astrologer to help you work out something, because Saturn can cause restrictions. Those restrictions are meant to build you though. They're meant to be a form of discipline, at least when it is done in a positive way, when it's not manipulative or negative, okay? The negative side would be just complete restriction, like no means no and you can't do anything about it, versus no means no because I'm not ready, or I need more time or whatever, right? That's the discipline. So there's a variety of factors happening here. There's discipline and restrictions from the outside world, and perhaps even within, okay? I think for some of it, it's the self-imposed restrictions, I think are there because you're going along with what the restrictions you are actually facing. And so it's like you believe that to be true, okay? And I'm one to talk, right? We're not all perfect, but I think sometimes there's situations where we're told no, or we're told we can't do something, right? And we believe that, or we internalize that, right? You know, like that inner parent, that inner voice, we internalize that thought and believe it to be true, even if it's not. Because like, if in real life the circumstances aren't really preventing you, then it's not true that you are restricted. It's just more like he said, she said, okay? Especially if there are people telling you that something can't be done. A part of it could be jealousy, yes, but on the other side, it could just be because that is their restriction, right? Or that is their way of trying to control you or a situation. Okay, so definitely don't internalize it. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's get some more cards to get more information about what's happening here. All right, so the next card we have is the Nine of Cups. Unfortunately, off the bat, I feel like you're in a partnership or a romantic relationship where your partner's trying to impose restrictions on you. Okay, so it doesn't have to be romantic, but I do feel with the Nine of Cups and obviously with the imagery on this card, that seems to be the case. Okay, so it doesn't have to be, but that's what I'm getting. And so, yeah, maybe there is control issues and jealousy issues with your partner. I think it's important to address it in a healthy way. And a healthy way would be to have conversation, but also avoid accusation, which sometimes can be easier said than done, especially if emotions start to run high between you two, okay? Or at least with another person, like if they start to overreact, or if overreact is probably not the right word either in this situation, okay? Because I know some people don't want to hear that. Yeah, like you don't want to be confrontational, but at the same time, there is a layer of confrontation, especially if you are dealing with someone who is preventing you or telling you no, but they're not in control of you, or they're not, you know what I mean? If it's a parent, yes, to some degree they have control, but at the same time, you are your own person. And for some parents, they don't see that, or it's hard for them to accept that. That's a whole nother conversation we could have, which I'll save. But either way, it's you still have your own life to live. And same with a partner. You still have your own life and desires. Sure, you could give up parts of yourself for other people, but that's only going to take you so far. Because in some relationships, there do needs to be a compromise or a sacrifice in some way. What is that sacrifice? What is that compromise? Do you have children? Do you have to sacrifice to be there for your children? Or, are you sacrificing to make them comfortable? And, right, whatever the case is. I think with the Nine of Cups too, on a more positive note, so I guess for some of you, there could be partners who aren't doing this at all. They could be supportive of you. If it's not your partner, there could be a friend. So I do feel like there's someone supportive. So I feel like some of you aren't relating to the romance aspect. Like if anything, your partner's probably the most supportive in this situation. So it could be somebody else, okay? Again, apply it how it resonates with you in your life. So on the supportive side, though, of the Nine of Cups, whoever they are, whatever the situation and relationship is, there is this very strong support system, and it is a very loving support system. It comes from, obviously, it comes from the heart, but I think what it really comes from is that there's like an alchemical thing to this, okay? And I'm gonna try to explain it the best way I can. There is this, like, for some people, seeing other people happy and living their best life and, being like authentically themselves brings them happiness and joy. Like, that excites them. And it's 17:17 on the clock. And it could be something like that where you want to see people doing good, right? You want to see people doing good because that is what you strive for in your life, and you don't see any competition, okay? So the support system here, I think, is coming from someone who isn't threatened by you and your success or your dreams and desires. Like, they're like fully committed to your mission and idea. And again, it's an alchemical thing to where seeing you have joy is inviting that into their life. It's like they're getting like secondhand joy. It's like I'm getting like a visual of like sun rays being shot out, and the ones that miss you hit them, that it lands on them, or like water drops miss you and they land on them, but you're also collecting water drops as well. So yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting. I hope it made sense. Let's go ahead and let's pull some more cards and see what else there needs to be revealed to you. So what else needs to be revealed? And we have the Ace of Cups. So it's really that your cup is overflowing, and to recognize that and to see that. So there is a need for you to be humble, have more gratitude. The Ace of Cups could have a flip side to where too much of a good thing isn't really all that great. You know, it could lead to complications and issues later. So I think there needs to be some boundaries need to be set, either with yourself or with other people. I think it's more or less with yourself, so a great deal of discipline. Okay, I've mentioned that already. So there needs to be a lot of discipline overall. And that's not what you're seeing. I think that's what you're not seeing the most, regardless of what I say. Like, you need to just be more, like, self-efficient as well. Like, be more self-reliant. I feel like at this time it's best to avoid asking for favors so much, or even at all. Of course, go with your best interest and do what you want to do. But the advice is to just kind of like maybe try it for yourself first. And if you do need help, then definitely reach out. I feel like what it's really about, though, is you know, again, there's like a self-esteem. Maybe you don't believe you're capable of doing it, and that's perfectly fine, especially if it's something you've never done before. Okay, and so I think that's what it's really about, is to like see for yourself first, because you're actually going to be really amazed about how much you could do on your own without additional support, without help. So some of you could have Virgo or Libra energy, and so those are two signs that are focused on other people. Virgo is focused on their service to others, and Libra is focused on their service to a relationship. And so I think it's a good idea to kind of turn that more inwards, to be more daring in that sense too. So I feel like there's some bravery and some courage involved here. Okay, so let's go ahead. I think we need to pull some more cards now. So I asked the cards, what is the first step you need to take? And we got the Two of Cups. So for some of you, you need to initiate a relationship, or you need to end a relationship if that's something that is going to free you, especially if you are dealing with someone who's being negative and not treating you right and not seeing for who you truly are. Okay, because I did mention how you could have a partner or someone who's just like not believing in you, and it's not really fair. And it's not that it's not fair, it's just you give all the support for them, like, you know, you give them the space to grow, and like you're looking for them to return the favor, and so that's why it's not fair. Okay, it's not a reciprocal relationship, that's for sure. With the Two of Cups, I feel like you need to initiate something. So maybe if it's a minor thing, or if it's something in the relationship that you feel you could overcome and fix, like maybe there's a whatever it is, like maybe they just don't have all their facts straight. Maybe because again, like people can project their own restrictions onto others, like they don't believe they can do that, and so that's where it could be coming from with them, and that's why they're telling you no, because they would tell themselves no in a heartbeat. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, you need to address this and communicate it. And I feel like if you get a positive feedback from them to where they're willing to change and grow, or they are finally hearing you, then the Two of Cups is signifying like there's going to be a stronger bond and connection between you two. They're going to really be on board with you now, like the Nine of Cups, like they're going to be way more supportive. Okay, on the other side, I think whoever it is that's showing you that Nine of Cups energy, you need to go to them, okay? You need to initiate something with them. It could be a partnership even. So it doesn't have to be romantic, but with the Two of Cups, I would say the romantic aspect of this partnership, even if it's just a business partnership or like a collaboration, I feel like you two are able to really, both of you are able to like put your heart and soul into it. Both of you are able to come together and create something very meaningful and special. So the best analogy would be like a song, like collaborating on a song, and you both are putting a lot of emotion, a lot of thought and heart into it, and so you're able to create something. And that's the romantic side of it, you know. It's you're basically, it's like a dance, okay? You're playing with the universe, you're playing with each other in a way, okay? So there could be some like inner child thing going on here as well. Either way, I love to see the Two of Cups though, because I feel like whatever the situation is, even if you are facing restrictions and whatever, like people telling you no, I feel like it's so like, now it feels like it's so meaningless compared to maybe other times where people have done it, because I feel like you are going to have this breakthrough. And again, it's like you're not internalizing it. You're not gonna let that stop you, because you realize now that nothing really can stop you. So I think that's pretty incredible. Let's go ahead and pull at least one more card, and I think we're going to close out the reading after that. Okay, so in conclusion, and to close out this reading, we got the Ace of Swords. And so basically we have 3 of the 4 tools out. We have the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. The bottom of the deck is the Empress. And so yeah, it really is time for you to just take initiative, to take even like responsibility for your own life. The Empress is a very fertile energy. There's a lot for you to grow here and expand. I feel like whatever it is about this situation, or whatever it is in your life that this is relating to, I think there's a lot more that needs to unfold. Like, this is only the beginning. I feel like years from now, you're gonna look back on this and just think like, wow, so many things have unfolded since then, since that moment. So it's like a nexus point, okay? There's like a road marker, okay? It's like putting a mark on the timeline of your life, basically, okay? It's a very pivotal moment, okay? And you're not gonna realize it until years later, because there's still so much that needs to occur for you to finally connect it back to this moment. And that's really powerful. I think that's incredible that I'm able to pick that up for you in this reading. The Empress is a reminder to have more grace for yourself and for others. Try to be so unbothered. Try not to take things personally, because again, you don't want to internalize too much here, especially with the Ace of Swords. You know, you could be they say we are our own worst critic, and sometimes it's fine, okay? Sometimes some negative self-talk is good, I would say, if it's in a way to motivate you, okay? So it's more like not calling yourself names or anything, but saying, hey, you're not doing a very good job here. I need you to step it up, okay? And so it's more in a way to motivate you out of a bad habit. You want to identify the bad habit. You want to be, you don't want to deny it. You want to be like, okay, yeah, I'm fucking up, or yeah, I'm doing this that isn't working for me, and you know better, okay? The Empress, I always get the vibe from her that she means no harm, but she also takes no shit. And so, like, you don't want to mess with her. You don't want to make her uncomfortable. because she is a mother, and mothers are very protective, okay? And so you don't want to mess with a bear's cubs, right? Because you're asking for trouble. So you want to be in that space too. You want to be so unbothered and so confident, but at the same time, you don't want to take shit. But you also want to react properly to anything that triggers you or comes up or confronts you or even tries to stop you, since that seems to be what this reading is mostly about. Okay, so I honestly feel like that's all that needs to be said for you guys. I'm being drawn to the like star on her earring right here. I don't know why, but there's something to that. Okay, so maybe just take a good look at the imagery and kind of like internalize that for yourself. All the image, you know, all the designs on the card. But other than that, I think we are done here. So I thank you so much for watching this video, especially if you made it this far. I appreciate your time, your company, and for allowing me to tap in and give you a reading that you were meant to hear. If you are interested in a private reading, I offer private readings through my Etsy shop. This is the only way you could book a reading with me, so go ahead and check that out. If you are interested, the link for that is in the description below, and feel free to check me out. I'm on Instagram and Twitter, so you can check me out there if you would like. The links for that are also below in the description. So thank you once again for tuning in, and I wish you all the best. Blessings Group 3, and welcome to your reading. So in this reading, we are looking at what you are not seeing about your situation, or just about something in your life in general. And to start the reading, we got the 8 of Pentacles. So something you're not seeing is basically your own ability to complete and finish something that you started. I feel like there seems to be a fear that there could be something that came up that caused a fear for you to feel like you're not able to complete something now. So this could be related to school. Maybe there is a family member that has fallen sick and you want to return back home or go and live with them, okay? So you could be there for them or to take care of them, and by doing that you wouldn't be able to finish what you are doing, whether it is school or a career or whatever it may be. I feel like there's something in your life where either you feel you have to give up something for another, or this is a situation that has very much been presented to you. It is something that you have to decide. And so I feel like there's an overwhelming sense of responsibility in your life right now. I feel like maybe you come from you could probably come from like a large family, or maybe you were often left in charge of your siblings. So like, let's say both your parents worked, and so you were the one to basically look out for your younger siblings, and so you've at a young age were bestowed responsibility for other people really young. It doesn't have to be siblings, it could be even pets, or maybe you live on a farm and so you had to take care of the animals on the farm at a very early age, or whatever tasks and activities you have to do on a farm. So you had responsibility. I do feel it is related to family matters. I do feel like it could be just tradition, again, like a farm. It's been in your family for generations, and this is just how things are. But I feel like that could be the case, like you are on a farm now and you want to go out and you want to go to college, or you want to move where your friends went to go move and live. Maybe you want to travel, whatever the case. I feel like there is something here now where you do need to give up something. You do need to give up some comfortability. So whatever position you are in, you have to give up something that was once comfortable and familiar for something else now. I feel like overall you do see positivity in it. So like if you are caring for a family member, the positivity is that you're able to be there for them, whether it's simply because of the act of caring for them or even just being able to spend more time with them. If it is something like the farm analogy I gave, where you want to get up and leave and just explore the world, the positive side is that you want to go out into the world and explore and see for yourself, where you've probably lived in the same town or city your whole life, and you have no idea what it's like out there, and you have this inclination or this desire to want to expand. So either way, whatever it is in your life, it is there to expand you, whatever this opportunity is. And with the 8 of Pentacles, this is about your own skills and not so much relying on your skills, but knowing you have the ability to complete something at the same time. So if you do have to go move and take care of a family member, and you have to maybe either drop out of school or you have to now switch to online classes, just know that you still can complete school. Like, you don't have to give it up completely. If anything, something needs to be put on hold at the very, very least, but I still feel you can work your way around it and still complete something here. I do feel like there is a way. Where there's a will, there is a way, okay? And so if you believe you could complete something, I believe as well that it will happen, that you will be able to achieve that. So let's go ahead and pull more cards and see what other additional information we could find. Okay, so we got the 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups could be that you're overwhelmed with possibility and with options, or you feel like there's too many variables. Maybe your mind's just really cluttered and you're thinking about all the worst things that could possibly go wrong. The 7 of Cups is also a warning not to fall for, I'm getting like seeing is believing, but also like don't read a book by its cover with the 7 of Cups, okay? Because you could be presented all these wonderful options, but each one of them could be deceiving. So you need some discernment here, whatever it is you're not seeing and whatever it is you need to accomplish here. I also get a sense of release with the 7 of Cups. I mean, there is a cup there that has a dove flying above it, and so there's a release. Maybe all the imageries, like all the variations of these cups, are things that you need to experience or organize. It goes back to believing that you are capable of achieving and completing something. So use all your available resources is what I'm getting. I want to pull another card, so let's go ahead and see what else we can get. So we got the Moon, and it just kind of like hopped right out of the deck here. With the Moon card, yeah, I would just be wary of deception, especially since it comes right after the 7 of Cups, and the 7 of Cups could be deception. With the Moon card, I think what needs to happen is you need to get really real with yourself and honest with yourself. You need to fill other people in on your decisions. Okay, don't keep people in the dark. People who are involved with whatever situation you're in, don't keep them in the dark. I would also say you could receive messages through your dreams, or your dreams are going to become very vivid, especially if you participate in like occult things or occult studies, or if you just have any kind of spiritual path that could be traced to some kind of occultism. I would say your dreams, something could happen. You could see something or begin something that kind of unlocks something within you. So for example, a couple of years ago, I designed a Kabbalah tree for a tarot card, and as I was designing it over like a course of like 3 months, I started to have these really, really vivid dreams. And they were very, very specific dreams. Like it was the same like location, the same, it was always at night, and like the elements were the same. The contents of the dream was always different, but it was always the same elements, like same location and everything. And I really felt like there was something being obviously woken up within me, because here I am designing a Kabbalah tree. I'm essentially engaging with the tree of life in that sense, where I'm like creating a world metaphorically. And so it really unlocked something within me. So there's something like that you could do, or you're going to do, basically just unlock something within you. And so your dreams, you definitely want to pay attention to, because I feel like even if you can't decipher them, I feel like they're still going to give you messages. At the very least, it's going to just activate something within you. Okay, it's going to bring something to light. It's going to light up a part of your brain that's been dormant for a long time. So fair warning, you could have quite an experience with that. Okay, so, forewarn there. Okay, especially if you do have some kind of spiritual practice. Even if you do yoga or you engage with like Kundalini stuff, then, just be careful with that. But I think it's because I'm bringing it up in this tarot reading, I think it's there to serve a greater purpose for you. So let's go ahead and pull more cards. I'm going to see what additional information can be added to this. So the additional information we have is the 10 of Wands. Okay, so the 10 of Wands, this does speak about you. On one side, it's you being too... I'm getting a couple things. You could be really careless, or you could just be really like selfish in some way, or you're just you're taking on too much, whatever it is. You're being selfish, or you're being given too much to do, or you could also just be really careless. You're not really paying attention. Okay, so it's like working out. If you're squatting with weight, especially if you got weight on your squats, if you don't have a good form or the correct form, you could really injure yourself and really mess yourself up. So that's something you need to be paying attention to. There's some strain here. On one aspect, this is something that you need to kind of go through, like put yourself through that, like working out, like put yourself through that strain, that discipline. On the other end, it is kind of like, be careful not to bite off more than you can chew. I would say don't take on any more responsibility than you already have, especially if you are someone, for some of you, I feel like someone's here like starting a new job, like don't put all your cards on the table, because then they're just going to rely on you to do all those things forever. And so, like pull yourself back a little. At the same time though, you do need to carry some kind of weight here. So you need to pay attention to that. You want to put your weight where it matters. You don't want to put all your eggs into one basket, essentially. But you do want to put a lot of eggs into a basket, because one end of this needs to be, in a sense, like exhausted or depleted, and the other needs to be given more fuel for the fire. Okay, so that's the additional information. Let's go ahead and find out what's the next step. Okay, so for your next step, we got the Sun card. So with the Sun card, this is about you just being in that element of the sun, being so confident and so sure of yourself that nothing else really matters. I think you need to make decisions that benefit you at this time. There's going to be people who get upset. There might even be relationships that come to an end, agreements that come to an end. But this is for the better. This is absolutely necessary. Whatever the sudden change that has occurred, it is for the better. I feel like initially at first you were so opposed to it and like heartbroken. Like some of you were really heartbroken about it for whatever it may be. But now I think it's important that you see how there is goodness in this. This is for a higher calling, if not so much a higher calling. This is for the better. Okay, this is for the betterment of everybody. So even if a relationship does fall apart or a situation does fall apart, anyone who's involved, it's for the better, because it's going to release you from something that is no longer necessary or no longer working. And the sun is just to remind you that there are brighter days ahead. I really feel like there's a lot that you have to struggle with right now, or had been for a while. And the sun card is confirmation that after all the rain, the sun will come back out. So let's go ahead and pull at least one more card, maybe two more cards. We're gonna look at what's next moving forward, and we're gonna close out this reading. So we'll see what the conclusion is. So for the conclusion of all of this, we have the Page of Wands in reverse. I'm going to pull another card, but with the Page of Wands in reverse, I think there's a need to give up control in some way. There is a role or responsibility you need to give up. For some of you, I think you need to give that responsibility to somebody else. Otherwise, I just see an ending here with something. There's something that you're doing that's coming to an end. Okay, so the next card we have is the Queen of Cups, also in reverse. So I feel like there's certain positions and certain aspects of yourself that you need to give up now at this time. You could be dealing with two people here. You could be dealing with the Queen of Cups. Usually in my readings, this refers to your mother. So there could be a relationship with your mother that needs to come to an end in some way. I'm even getting, like, maybe if you have children, let's say you have a child, they're grown up and now they are moving out, they're moving on to college, and it's really hard for you to let go. And I also feel like there's a lot of fear surrounding this. Like, maybe they're an only child, and so you have fear around, like, how are they gonna do out there? So that's something you need to let go of. Let go of that fear, let go of that worry. Something I've been telling myself is that fear and worry is a lack of faith. And if you are truly at peace with yourself and with life and the world, then you have nothing to fear. Even when things go wrong, you still have nothing to fear. And that's definitely a place I've been at before, so I know it's totally achievable to live like that, to where things around you could be falling apart, but you have all the faith and trust in the world that something's better on the other end of this. And so that's also what the Sun card is here to remind you, is that there is something on the other side of this, on the other side of the rainbow. So going back to the child analogy, you got to let go of any fears you have and to look at it as an opportunity for you to do something new now. I feel like you could even be single, and by letting go of this situation, you finally meet somebody. Okay, I feel like there is some kind of relationship coming to an end, but it's not a final ending. It's kind of like the analogy of like your child going off to college. Obviously, your relationship as a mother is not ending with them, but you being with your child, like them living with you, like that's coming to an end. It's time for them now to leave. And so that also opens up a new relationship that you will have with them, because now they are no longer essentially within your custody. So that's one way of looking at it. There's a new relationship you can begin now. Overall, I feel like whatever it is that you are releasing about yourself, it's going to open you up to these energies of the Page of Wands and the Queen of Cups, to where it would turn them into a upright position. So it's alchemizing. And I did say something about relinquishing control, or giving up responsibility, or giving someone else the responsibility now, like handing off the baton. Okay, and by doing that, you create this reversal in your life. You're able to switch to a new basket, right? You're able to finally put eggs into another basket. So overall, I just see an ending, and it's also like a switch. It's going to balance things out at the end of the day. And I think that's what's really important for you guys, especially. I feel like that is something you definitely appreciate, is having that balance within your life. So I think that's all that needs to be said with you guys. The message came out loud and clear for me. And so if you are interested in booking a private tarot reading with me, then you may do so through my Etsy shop. This is the only place you can book a reading with me. If you are interested, there's 4 readings available. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter, so be sure to check me out. The links for that are below in the description. So thank you so much for watching, especially if you've made it this far. I appreciate your time and your company, and for allowing me to tap into your energies and deliver this message for you. And I wish you guys all the best and all the luck, and I will catch you in the next video.